In today's video, we're going to talk about how to find research for your upcoming paper. My name is Judith Girardi, and I'm one of the librarians at Evergreen Valley College. If you need to get in touch with one of the librarians, you can email us at librarian@evc.edu, or you can go to the chat box that's on the Evergreen Valley College Library webpage, and that will lead you directly to one of the librarians. It doesn't go to a bot somewhere that has standard answers. It goes to one of us who can help you with your research. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to search the library databases. I know that a lot of you are used to using Google or maybe an AI assistant like Perplexity, but there's 3 reasons that it's important to go to the library databases for your work for this class. One of which is the stuff in the databases is academic information. It's information that's specifically based for college level information needs, papers, etc. Second of all, they specialize in college level assignments. What that means is that the companies that put out the databases actually go to the college websites and they see what kind of assignments that a typical English C1000 or a typical environmental science class might have. And they format and design the databases around those assignments so that you can find exactly the information you need. They're specialized for college level research. Lastly, this is also to prepare you for transfer. Our library has over 30 databases because we're a community college. However, when you get to San Jose State or whatever other school you're going to go to, they have hundreds of databases. For example, I know that San Jose State has almost 500 databases. This is to prepare you for the research needs you're going to be using at a 4-year. As I said, we do have 30 databases or over 30 databases, so I've kind of honed it down to the top 5, the ones that are going to be the best for this particular paper that you've got. One type of source that we have is overview sources. That's going to be books and encyclopedias. An overview source is something like Wikipedia. When you're first beginning to get an idea about a topic, you're not quite sure about a lot of it, but you start looking it up. That's when you'd start looking at an encyclopedia or maybe even a book on the topic. We have those online for you, and I'm going to show you a couple of those. We also have controversial issues databases. Those are databases that are specific for the exact kind of assignment you have. You have a persuasive argument to do, and you have to have a refutation or another viewpoint, another way of looking at the topic. These 2 databases I'm going to show you specifically have pro-con arguments. They have more than one viewpoint, which is exactly what your paper is supposed to bring in. So I'm going to introduce you to those 2 databases as well. So rather than hitting 30, we're going to hit, I'm going to suggest 5, and you can talk about whichever ones you'd like in your paper. I'd like you also to know that while you're doing research on your topic, the more research you do, the more you look at your topic, the better off and better informed you're going to be. Your topic's going to become more focused. You're going to see what some of the big issues are around your topic. So just the act of actually searching databases makes you more knowledgeable about your topic. For example, if my topic is AI, artificial intelligence, and I keep looking up articles and things, I'm going to see that there's a lot of subtopics, things that keep coming up. For example, privacy keeps coming up. Maybe I want to do my paper not on just AI, but AI and privacy. Another thing that keeps coming up is the environment or environmental aspects. Maybe that's what I want. Mental health is huge when it comes to AI and therapy, AI and AI companionship, what effect it has on us mentally. Education, AI and education is big. So there's a lot of different subcategories that you have around your topic. We'll also be talking a little bit later about MLA. For now, let's get into the databases. I'll bring up that screen. Okay. Here we have the evc.edu webpage. This is for Evergreen Valley College. The way to get into the library is to go over to the magnifying glass. You go down to Support and Resources, and you click on Library. This will bring you to the library webpage. When you go to the Search Resources box, you'll see where it says Online Articles on this icon on the bottom. That will lead you directly into the databases. When you start looking for articles in our databases, be sure you go through our library homepage, or else if you try and just type in the name of one of the databases, you're going to hit paywalls. So make sure you go in directly through the library webpage. When you go in, first of all, if you're off campus, you're probably going to have to do a single sign-on, sign-in, just the same way you would with Canvas. And we do have a video on that. It's only a minute long that shows you how to get in using your single sign-on. After you do that, you'll get into our library databases. Here's our 36. And I'm going to show you 3 today very briefly. The first one is a book database. And it's going to be called EBSCO eBooks. Okay? All of our databases are alphabetical across the top of the screen, so I'm going to go to E for EBSCO book collection. You'll see there's another book collection ProQuest that you can use. There's Encyclopedia Britannica, which is always good. But for today, I'm going to show you the EBSCO ebook collection. When I do, I'll see a box here and I can type in my topic. My topic, if you remember, was artificial intelligence. I see that I have 63 books here. But I want to make sure I have something pretty current. Artificial intelligence changes so fast. I'm going to change my dates up here. I want to make sure I've only got books from the last 5 years. When I do that, I go down and I see maybe ChatGPT. That could be a good one. Living and working with AI. Maybe I want something on working with AI. I don't know. The more I look, the more interesting it becomes, and the more I can say, hey, do I want something about fake things on? Maybe I want fake news and AI. And then I see this one, Feeling Machines, Japanese Robotics, and More Than Human Care. And I think, it could be very interesting learning about how we experience ChatGPT and AI companions as feeling, as emotional. So I might like that book. Maybe that's a subtopic I'm interested in. I look at my book, I find it, and the book itself will come up. There I can see the book, and I can even look for topics I want here. Like, let's say I want something on human connection. And it's going to search the book for me and bring me exactly to the sections I want. So I look here and it says, while they operate in intimate, if not direct connection with humans, they do not need to say, okay, that's interesting. Or here's one to encourage social interaction and foster connection. Okay, it'll bring me exactly to that page and it'll highlight it for me. So although it is a full book, you don't necessarily have to read the entire book to start getting an idea or learning about your topic. So I'm interested in this book. I like it. I could download it. I could share it, which means I could create a link and email it to myself, something like that. I also can cite it, and I frequently will do that. I'll go to the citation tool, and it has all of the different ways to cite. For this particular paper, you all are using MLA. So I go to MLA, I grab it here, and then I copy it and I put it into a Word document. So I've got it with me the whole time. That way I've got all of the things that I look up, all of my research on one document. Okay. So that's the EBSCO ebooks. Let me back out of this. I'm going to go to the databases. I'll hit all of them. And I'm going to talk about the 2 databases that are controversial issues. In fact, if you go here and click on it, we have controversial issues. Search it, and it brings up 2 of the best databases we've got, Issues and Controversies and Opposing Viewpoints. For issues and controversies, when I come here, I'm going to type in artificial intelligence and click on it. And as I said, this particular database will show you pro-con articles. For example, artificial intelligence, will AI benefit humankind? That's definitely a pro-con argument. It's one that some people say yes, and a lot of people might say no. Let's take a look. This database will give you the supporters' point of view, people who think it's the greatest thing there ever was, and people who say, it's possibly dangerous, I don't know. So if you click on it, it'll bring you directly in. I go to supporters argue, and it gives me a nice synopsis of what people who like AI say. Scroll down, it's what the opponents say. It also has a really nice by the numbers section that gives you some statistics. So that's a really good database for that. Another database is called Opposing Viewpoints. And I want to end with this one because I think it's going to be the most useful for all of you. So pay special attention to this one. I'm going to go to the top. It's called Opposing Viewpoints. So I'll go to the O, Opposing Viewpoints. And for this one, I could type in artificial intelligence up here if I wanted to. I could certainly do that, and I'll do that in a minute to show you. But if you're not sure of your topic yet, you don't know what you want to write about, it has a really nice Browse Issues section here. And on the first page, it has all of the updated things. So updated things on prisons. Maybe you're interested in what's happening with pollution or food insecurity or cancel culture. It has a lot of them. There's over, if you look at the bottom, 490 issues. But these are the ones that have been updated most recently. And take a look at this, Artificial Intelligence and Mental Health, my particular topic. This database will give you an overview just like an encyclopedia would. What are the main ideas? What are the technological models? What's basically happening in terms of AI intelligence and mental health? Okay. Not only that, but if you scroll down, it's going to separate out, instead of just giving you a list, all the different types of sources. So there's 30 journal articles, there's websites, there's audio podcasts, there's videos, etc. For this database, I would suggest always going to the viewpoints first. Because your assignment involves having a refutation or an alternative point of view coming in, go to the viewpoints section. And here we see a lot of different points of view. Here's one on The Therapist Will See You Now for AI. Here, this one's saying teens are increasingly turning to AI companions. It could be harmful. So this one says it could be harmful. This one here says the AI therapist can see you now. Can chatbots really improve your mental health? So that's possibly a positive one. Like this one, it changed my inner world. So you see different points of view. Okay, I'm going to pick one. Let's see, maybe I'll pick this one here, AI companions. And as I go down and look at the article, I think, yeah, I think this is the right article for me. I can send it to myself by email or I can save it to my Google Drive. Once again, I can also cite it. I make sure it's on MLA instead of any of the others. I grab it and I copy it and then I put it into my Word document or my Google Docs. Okay, so that's an easy way to do a citation. Okay, so those are 3 of our best databases for this particular assignment. I just have 1 or 2 short things to show you now. I just showed you how to find the MLA citation for any kind of a source that you like. I'd like you to know that we also at the library have a 2-page document that front and back that is on MLA citation. It looks like this. Usually it's blue. Okay. And what I'll say about that is all of the MLA citations in the databases are computer generated. And they're probably about 85% correct, which means they're about 15% incorrect. And what that means is usually the names aren't reversed the right way for the author, or maybe they have all caps, so the capitalization is wrong. The main point is before you turn in your paper, you're really going to need to double check it against this format guide. Our format guide has the front page, what it's supposed to look like with the header, etc. It also, if you were going to turn it over or look at the back page, it has what the works cited is like and what it's supposed to format as. I have the link here, but I'm also going to send a copy of that to your instructor so he can put it into Canvas for you. That's where we were today. These were the best sources if you want to have a nice reminder of what the best sources are for this paper. I'll also say that Google Scholar is a very good source as well. You can just go into Google and type in Google Scholar. Great sources. Problem is they're usually behind a paywall and they're not always accessible. So be sure if you go into our library databases to go through the library. Okay, thanks for coming today and for listening in.